Coach, from the very start, Tyler Morton comes up with like tip drill interception, sets up a quick score. I mean, you're up really early.
Yeah, I think it was good for us to get on top at home. It was a hard-fought first half. I thought we could have had some more points on the board. We probably should have. We left a few out there. Defense was swarming. We had some tip balls. We talked about it at halftime. We talked about how we got to get after a little bit. It almost worked. It kind of to perfection where we scored at the end of the first half, and then we get in the ball to start the second half, come up with the big play and put it in the end zone, and kind of got it rolling in the second half.
After you scored to take the 7-0 lead, they drove down for basically their only drive of the entire game. They tie it up, and it seemed like there was maybe a bit of a lull for a while until you scored in that 2-minute offense at the end of the first half.
Absolutely. It was in that second quarter. It was kind of back and forth. We had a couple of 3-and-outs. We were getting the stops. They didn't really threaten us. I thought they had a couple of third down big plays they got on us. They had some third and long. We didn't get a chance to get off the field. We had a couple of penalties. Some interference calls and some holding calls, and we got to be able to clean those things up moving forward.
You want to know your motto every week. How did you make sure you got it done this week?
Well, I told the guys this week how proud I was. I just told them in the locker room because they prepared. I mean, they prepared well. And when you look at Tyler Morton and you look at David Robinson and those guys and how they here all week, studying film, knowing the opponent, but then to go out on the field and do it, that's the biggest thing. Those guys were prepared. They were ready to go. And they knew they had a good football team coming in here, coming out of place. It was important for us to win at home.
You really set the pace with the run against a team who's been really stout against the run. What was the game plan?
Yeah, I thought if you looked at it, I thought last week we ran the ball well. We wanted to continue to do that. We were very, very balanced tonight. If you look at the offense, time of possession, we converted some third downs, some key third downs, which was big. We scored in the red zone. When we got the ball and had a chance to do it, which was very, very important for us. And getting turnovers, you can't say enough. We turned it over one. I thought it was a little bit. I thought it might have been early on the play. Didn't call it. So we had one turnover, but we got some picks and fumbles. It was good to be on that plus side.
The 2-minute drill, talk about that at the end of the first half. Guggenheim, I think, might have hit. Not Guggenheim, sorry. We'll get to him in a moment. But McQuaid, I mean, he hit like maybe 3 or 4 passes in a row to start that drive off, and a classic 2-minute drive.
Yeah, and you work 2-minute all the time. You work it all in fall camp. You work it during the week. You never know when I tell those guys that you might not get it in a couple games. You might not get to work it. I thought we worked it really, really well. It is good to know that you had 2 timeouts, and so we wanted to go down. We were moving fast, but not at a super fast pace to go down there because we had the timeouts. Guys made a couple big plays in that, converted some first downs, and it was really, really big to get the touchdown.
And on special teams, after a rough game against Tulane, they really bounced back. Can you kind of speak to how they've been able to do that in practice? And
yeah, even the game against TCU and the game against Tulane, we had the bad snap that kind of put us a little bit behind. But I thought special teams has been playing well. They work hard. There's a lot of guys on that special teams that don't start on offense or defense, and that's their chance to go out there and play. They have been doing a tremendous job in practice. Coach Wallace does a good job preparing them what to look for, what to do, and the guys go out and execute it. And listen, all the simple stuff we talk about, it kind of got us a little bit tonight. We got to be careful with that snap, hold, kick, those things. Good coverage team, and then Jalen did a good job on the return. So special teams came up big. It was definitely all 3 phases of the game came up big tonight.
Your defense seems to have become a turnover machine. I think 4 last week, 3 this week. What's gotten into them to have the groove to get the ball?
We talk about that too. You always work in special team. You always work in turnovers. You always work in protecting the football. It was crazy last year. I don't think we recovered a fumble in an 11-game season, which is kind of odd to do. So we work those drills, and sometimes they come in bunches. And right now, I'm glad they're coming in bunches for us. But it's a mentality. It's a ball hawk mentality. You see those guys trying to strip it out, trying to get it out of there. I thought maybe another tip ball here or there. We were close on some getting a couple more.
Coaches always talk about the importance of that first possession of the third quarter. You came up with a really big pass play, and from that point on, you pretty much were in control.
Yeah, it was something that they were kind of giving us in the first half, and we didn't take advantage of it. We talked about it at halftime. We knew exactly what we wanted to do the first play. I thought Pat read it really, really well. David with the catch and a good move. It was big to get off right there because, you know, we left those 3 points on the board at the end of the first half where it could have been 17. So it was big to come get that touchdown and make it 21-7 to start that third quarter.
And just talk about putting the first 3 gauntlet games behind you, and you get into conference play. And I mean, now you're 2-0 in conference.
Well, if I said to you, I don't know what you're talking about. Forgot about those games, and it's time to move forward. You know, I thought we learned some things in those games, but we kept getting a little better and kept getting a little bit better. And now we're in conference, and we're trying to put some things in. Listen, we got to go back to work. David said it. You know, we'll enjoy this one. We got to get back to work Monday morning. We got Northwestern coming in next week. Another conference game, another opponent coming here. We got to be prepared, but you know, you can't just want to win it. And we talk about it all the time. You got to go out and prepare and be ready to do it.
David talked about, you know, he gets in kind of a zone whenever he plays the way he did today. How often have you seen that from him, and what do you think it's like to see him have that kind
Look, he's had a couple of moments where anything that was thrown his way, you know, he knew he was going to catch it. He would go up and get it. We had some deep balls in the past that he did that. I think him and Pat got on a pretty good page right there. He knew where Pat was going to put the ball. Also, Pat has confidence where David was going to be and catch everything that came his way. So it was good to see those guys connecting tonight.
Coach, a big win, but even bigger that it came on homecoming day. Tell me how you felt about that and the team.
You know, especially at schools like us across the South, I think homecoming is big. It's really, really special. We talk about it to the players, how people are going to come back to this game. And I told them too, and they may come back to a game years from now. It might be 10 years, it might be 20. You're going to want to remember your senior homecoming. And so we talked to the younger guys about it, how, you know, to win it for those guys, because you might be the only one you ever come back. So really, really special. You know, me hearing how his mom's roommate came back and how some members were coming back, it's really, really special. So it's good to get a win. Everybody can celebrate tonight and have a little fun.
You know, maybe one of these days you might have a good game. Four touchdowns.
Yeah, I just honestly got a little lucky tonight, but it's just kind of how the dice went my way a little bit. And I tell you what, I mean, without them big guys up front, I mean, I'm not who I am. Same thing with Pat McQuaid and the decisions that he makes, and then Coach Rob Crisfeld just calling great plays. I think tonight we really had a complete game. I thought today. I think at times we, you know, sputtered a little bit, but I thought we responded very well when we needed to. So.
And you got halfway to your 2,000 mark with this game. You know, try to make sure you get it next week.
Most definitely. I mean, anytime you're surrounded by good players, they kind of propel you into doing some good things. So, I mean, obviously that's one of my goals. But at the end of the day, as long as we get the win, that's really all that matters to me. So as long as we keep winning and keep going 1-0 in conference like I preached, then I think we'll be fine.
So two record questions for you. I know it means a lot to you when you can set certain milestones. You're 10th now in total rushing. You passed Chase Forkade, who's a pretty good player here. I know you know him well. What does that mean? And also, you tied the program record for most touchdowns, rushing touchdowns in a single game. Julian Gumbs, the last to do it. Obviously, played with Julian. What do those two things mean to you?
I mean, it's everything, you know, especially when you name two guys like that. I mean, Chase Forkade kind of came in and turned his program upside down and turned us around in the right direction. And then Gumbs, I mean, he means a lot to me. He's a mentor to me. He kind of took me under his wing when he first got here. So anytime I can get my name up there with those two guys, I think I'm doing some pretty good things. But I mean, just as much as this community and the city has done for me, and just what Nicholls means to me. I mean, anytime I can go out there and perform for just the crowd and the people in the city, I mean, it's one of the best feelings in the world. And sometimes I get choked up talking about it, but I mean, this city has meant the world to me since I've gotten here. So.
Your touchdown runs weren't the longest though, thanks to some explosive plays on offense and especially turnovers on defense. How does it feel, and what do you do as an offense whenever you see your team surrounding you, putting you in position for such efficient scoring?
Most definitely. I mean, the defense has been great all year. I think and I mentioned this earlier in the season, we put them in some bad spots early in the season against TCU and Tulane and even against Sacramento State. I mean, we put that on us because we put them in some bad spots, but I feel like we have one of the best defenses in the leagues, and I think them guys, they get going, man. I mean, they got that culture over there, and they do things a little bit different, but hey, I'm okay with it as long as it's working. But they really have done a great job these last two games, just creating turnovers and putting us in some good spots so we can be successful and get us going offensively, because we have struggled in the first couple of games. But I think these last two games, we've shown our potential a little bit.
You're 1-0. You got your 1-0 for a second week in a row.
Most definitely. I mean, that's the goal every week, but that's what Coach Rebowe preaches. I mean, we don't like to look too far ahead. I mean, obviously the schedule's a schedule, so you gotta prepare a little bit out. But I mean, we're just trying to take this one game at a time. I think it's time that we kind of try to put Nicholls back on the map and get back into the playoffs and try to make a run for this conference. I mean, that's our goal and that's our team goal, and I think the people in this community, they deserve that. You know, it's been too long that we've been out the playoffs and had a conference championship over here. So it's just time to get Nicholls back on the map and start doing some right things.
Did the point differential surprise you at all?
Yes and no. I mean, HCU has a great defense. We talked about that earlier in the week. I mean, their defense was great, but credit to the O-line, man. Them guys just get going. And Evan Roussel and Mark, they really lead those guys and get those guys moving in the right directions. And as you see, they opened up some holes for us. And I think Pat McQuaid made some good decisions. I mean, how about David Robinson having a great day too? I mean, he had a heck of a game and he finally showed his potential and what he can do for us. So I've mentioned this multiple times. We just have so many weapons, and it's just a matter of getting the ball to the right people at the right time and making defense having to cover us the whole length of the field.
Speaking of guys with potential, Jalen Spears, first 4 games, 113 yards today, 8 carries, 113 yards. He broke that big one. Well, what can you say about him and what it's like to play with him in the back?
Oh, it's awesome. I kind of joking. I'm like, man, how can I get some of your talents to come to me? You know, because I'm obviously a slower back. But I mean, he's been tremendous for us. I think in the return game, he's done a great job. But he's kind of changes the dynamic in the backfield when he gets in. I mean, he kind of gives us a more explosive and faster and a little twitchier guy than I am, obviously. But I mean, he's so fun to play with because you see the things he can do, and then you see the things I can do, and then when you put it together, I mean, when it's working, it's working. And I think Coach Rebowe and Coach Rob have done a great job of just putting together a game plan to kind of get us both on the field and kind of to let us both be productive at the same time. So it's been really good.
Collin, explain the importance of homecoming, especially today, the huge win. Just go into the feelings about it for me if you can.
Most definitely. Kind of how I mentioned earlier, I mean, this city is everything to me, like I said. So anytime that you get alumni back on campus and anytime that you can just put on a show for the people, I mean, that's what you want. You want to give back to this community as much as I can. And like I said earlier, I mean, this university is great. It's awesome. I wouldn't have it any other way than to play here at Nicholls, and I've had a long journey to coming here, but it's been great, and just the way that the fans rally around us. I mean, it's like a place like no other. I mean, this place was electrifying tonight or today, the midday game, but it was electrifying, and just seeing the fans cheering and packing the whole home side. I mean, it's great, and then our guys, we're playing hard for them. So just whatever we can do to get us rolling and get the crowd into us, I mean, we'll do whatever we gotta do.
Talk about playing in football weather.
About time. Camp definitely was a hot one for us. We had a couple guys go out early in camp because it was just so hot with you know the heat and everything. But finally feels good to get some football weather and not come off the sideline trying to get some oxygen or get my inhaler a little bit. But it feels good to finally get some weather and have a steady game.
Getting that first interception on the tip drill.
Well, we was actually working the tip drill in Indy right before the game. So, I mean, it just translates to the game, treat practice reps like game reps, and we work that in practice all the time, take these drills like Coach just said, so it just came to play on the field.
You picked up a second one, you had one last week. Just tell me about picking up all these passes the last few weeks.
Man, my coaches prepared me well, my teammates prepared me well in practice and with good looks on the scout team. And I just go out there, play hard, and trust my skills, trust my work ethic, and whatever happened, it happens.
You guys barely, you escaped, I think, with 19-17 last year against Houston Christian. How did you dominate them so well defensively this time?
Well, we came in the summer. We came together in the summer, spring, and this fall camp, and we made it known to ourselves that we was gonna change. You know what I'm saying? We was gonna change the culture and get back to what Nicholls used to be and who we are right now and who we gonna be. We just wanted to get back to it because we knew that wasn't ourselves. That's not how we played last year. So I mean, just coming with the confidence and preparing like we know how we could and practicing hard every day. That's how we come out and dominate.
How have you both emphasized and executed getting so many turnovers the last 2 games?
Well, my teammate Quentin Sharkey, every day in practice he always say punch the ball, punch the ball, punch the ball. He remind us every day to punch the ball, and in the back end I make challenges to our DBs to, if we catch a interception we get this, or we force a fumble we get this. So it's just competing with each other and competing against as a whole to make each other better and go out and improve it on Saturday.
And how does that feel whenever you get those turnovers and you see the offense in prime position and they turn those turnovers into touchdowns?
I mean, it feels good, man, because like Coach said last year, I don't think we recovered a fumble. So, you know, and I led the team with only just 2 interceptions. So that was a big thing was for us to get turnovers this year. So doing that has really been building our confidence up, and with the offense going to score right after, you know, that give the team momentum and the crowd momentum. So it's a good thing.
How much confidence do you feel like this secondary has right now? Because I'm watching Jordan, you know, get his hand on tons of balls. You get 2 picks today. Kendarius Smith in his first year here has been awesome. Where's the Mark Kevrick? Where's the confidence level? Do you feel like it's sky high right now with the secondary as a whole?
I mean, Coach D always tell us, and Coach 2 always tell us to never get too high and never get too low. So I mean, we still in the middle because we know it's more work that we have to do, and we've been putting a lot of work in practice, and we've been, you know, watching film together as a group. So it's just finally showing, and we just got to keep on going, keep on doing it because there's more games down the line.
I think Coach Ryback, he always talks about depth. It feels like you guys have so many guys you can plug in the back end. Is that something you've really focused on? That's something.
Yeah, we have a lot of good players on our defense, man. A lot of athletes and ballers on our defense that can come in and play. That's even freshmen that's just not. It's not their time now, but even freshmen that can possibly be on the field on Saturdays, man. We work hard, and last year we had people on the team that are still on the team now that felt that feeling. So, you know, our depth is just something that, I mean, I guess it's advantage we have over some people.
Tyler, explain the importance of homecoming and getting this big win today.
Coach Rebowe told us in practice that homecoming, you always remember homecoming. So actually, I was talking to my dad right after the game, and somebody came up to me and said, I played football with your dad right here on this field, and I had never seen a guy before. So, I mean, that was pretty cool, knowing that a lot of people come back for homecoming, getting the dub. That's very important, what Coach told us.
Find a way to bring it down.
And very opportunistic. I mean, you got that really early score, put you up on top, you know, real early.
Yes, sir. It's real big just going to openers. We talked about it all week, and finally got it done this week.
And then after they came back and they drove and they tied it up at 7, it seemed like there was a bit of maybe a lull in the game a little bit. You guys scored right before the half, which was real big, and then you had that really big reception in the third quarter to set up that score, and that really propelled you guys the rest of the way. Tell me about that big catch.
So right before halftime, we went on 2-minute drive, 2-minute drive, and punch it in, and then went into halftime. I told us that the first play was gonna be, we seen it all game, the first half, and they threw it to me. Pat made it too fast. Coach believed in it. Just got loose, too slow, got caught.
Coach said you were gaining a little bit of confidence lately, and you're kind of hungry to win this championship this year in your senior season. Can you kind of speak to that?
Yeah, it's my last one. We just gotta find a way to win this thing and show the young guys what we need to do to get it done.
Just talk about it now being, I'm sorry, but
You were yourself like a balancer for the offense because the ground game was going, but every pass that went your way, you were able to catch it and make something out of it. What were you doing and how did it work so well?
I honestly just hit a zone and making every play that came my way. That's what was on my mind. Honestly, nothing was on my mind. I was just playing the game, having fun.
And what does hitting the zone feel like in that regard?
You don't hear nothing. You see the play, you line up. The ball is all you see. You get up and do it again.
well, just talking about, you know, 2-0 in conference now.
2-0, is 1-0 every week. So on the next week, family day, Northwest is coming in, get it done.
What's the importance of homecoming to you? What was important to get this win for the Nicholls?
Well, homecoming. I mean, my mom played here like we should know by now. My dad, a lot of his teammates came back for the first time. My mom's roommate from Illinois came on his first time, her first time back, and it got to be at least 30 years. So, I mean, like Coach Rebowe always tells us, this is gonna be the game we remember. It might be the only game we come back to in the future. So, it's a big win. Always remember it.